truth.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report right here on the Piper Academy Network. Got a little bit of a mixed market today, I guess we'll say. Bitcoin getting a pullback overnight, guys. Let me move this little screen over there. There we go. Bitcoin getting a little pullback. We lost the golden pocket. We went down. We touched the platinum pocket last night, right in the platinum pocket. We touched it. Show me on this chart where it touched you. Okay, it's right there. So, guys, that's what we have going on. But we are seeing a little bit of a chop this morning. Again, we had some bank data that came out yesterday. Regional banks looking in trouble, caused a little bit of market sell-off. And then this morning we get Trump saying, hey, I don't think this tariff thing going on with China is forever. We're working on something. We're going to talk in a couple of weeks. And so little hopium mixed with a little reality right here. And yeah, we're seeing some chop in the market. Looking here at the crypto bubbles, a lot of red on the daily, but you can see the hourly starting to flip a little bit green here. We're going to talk about all this. We're going to break it all down. We've also got a couple of articles. Some surprising news on the U.S. deficit this month. It's going to shock you. We're going to talk about that. So make sure you stay tuned. Get your notebooks out. Alexander G, can you please get out your Trapper Keeper and take notes? Take minutes for the class, please. Let's get it. We'll see you guys on the other side. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Lunar Beaches, I'm going to go ahead and give you a shout out now before it's too late, before you think that I didn't see you. Lunar Beaches Crypto. He needs his shout outs. He does. So I got you, bro. I got you. How you doing, man? Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host, though. The man, the myth, the legend, the Mexican Superman. Look at that little curl. He's got the little hair curl going on today. My head is just jealous because I can't even get a hair curl. I have this island of hope right here that kind of grows in, and that right there, that's it. The island of hope, to where Bitcoin lives right now. Trapper Keeper out. Alexander G said, OC, how you doing today, man? What do you think about this sell-off overnight? Any concerns there on it? Are we just rolling with it? What's that?
Well, for one part, I'm glad that we have this sellout. Right? In fact, we start hitting some alerts. We hit alerts on Bitcoin. We hit alert in COAI. We hit alerts on TAO, UNI, useless, and that's basically NSEC. So we were expecting a little bit of that sellout. But on the other hand, I mean, if we take a look at the 4 hour or even the daily, well, we might be seeing that we're losing some key supports, right? What is that key support? Well, dynamic reactor. Let me clear this up because I think this is a little messy. Let's go to a cleaner chart. Here it is, right? And we're losing the dynamic reactor certainly, right? Well, what kind of supports or what is the next step for this one? Let's bring out a couple of support and resistances, and you'll see that we are losing the quantum reactor right here, and then going for, well, then maybe the 99,290 soon, right? So we're very close to having a flip of the ribbon. Right now, I am looking at that 99K area. Also, if I start turning on a couple of other stuff, we'll see that we're just grasping the very top of a loud order block, right? So in this case, I think whatever got candled will get a candlesticked, right? And that is because
that which gets wicked gets
oh, there you go.
candlesticked. We got to like tattoo this on your hand or something. That which gets wicked gets candlesticked. Shout out to Piano Matty B.
Absolutely. So we have right here a loud order block, and that's what right now I believe that is making that magnetic action throughout to the price action, right? So it's pulling it towards that area. I mean, we barely hit the surface, and we have a bounce right. I mean, right there. If we go to the lowest point in here, we'll see that we hit the 103. I mean, in fact, remember, guys, 103. That was our area. And we'll then all the way to 98K. So 105, 103 was our entry point. So far, I already have taken a long on Bitcoin on 103, basically hitting this predictive range. And well, then we'll see if we can make it past it, because there is a real chance that we just bounce out of here and well, we start making a higher low. But in another hand, I mean, there's another real chance that we actually get into the loud order block. So prepare your accounts for some shakeouts, and well, then use some stop losses, right? Another thing that I want to mention is if you're going to be trading the lower time frames, be careful, because most likely you may encounter one or two stop losses, right? As we start trying to catch this reverse to the upside. I mean, this pumptober, man, I don't know if it's just kidding or if it is becoming Rectober. But other than that, that's what I got.
So far, it's Rectober. We're going to show that on the chart here. We got the layout for the monthly returns, and it's Rectober for sure. Shout out to let's give a shout out to the chat. Let's go over there and do that. It's Friday. Nothing overly serious here today for us to do except for look at charts and hang out with the alumni. So Crypto Billy's in the house. Shout out to you, man. I also saw Lunar Beaches. I already gave him a shout out. Give him another one. Look, you get two today, LBC. Little Fish is in here with us. Crypto Coin Mindset. That is Keith over there with TI Joe doing their morning show. We send you guys over there quite a bit. Alexander G, the mod queen, lovely lady of the Piper Academy. We appreciate you being here. Shimitris, what's up there? How you doing? Dano Crypto, what's up, bro? He said Hero, BC Port Corp. I'm doing a show tomorrow. You guys don't know. Tomorrow, me, BC Port Corp, Lunar Beaches Crypto, and I believe Crypto Billy, I believe also. All four of us, we're going to be doing a show tomorrow together talking about fiat. So make sure you guys are tuned into that. I'm sure that link's going to get dropped here in the chat real soon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. Who else we got in the house with us today? We got Mike Plays in here. Harp is in here. I think I gave you that shout out twice. Crypto AI. Yeah. Donato Cabrera, Trade Intuition. There's T.I. Joe. Bingo Bango. Drop the bingo bangos in the chat. Chris Wrights is in here, and I think I got them all. Yeah, I think so. Perfect. Appreciate you guys. I'm sure a bunch of people have now said, hey, I want to get a shout out. So let me put Robert Mulligan. Good morning there. All right. Eric Ballin Wallen is in here. The troll extraordinaire, the supreme troll of X. I love that dude. Jesse Gallic, what's up, man? All right, let me go take a look at Bitcoin here, OC. I want to show a couple of things on here that I'm watching. And then we'll get into the news. So I got a lot of crap for this in the chat the other day on Billy's show when I said, hey, guys, we got to watch this, though. We're hitting this 382, and we're hitting a quantum reactor. I just want to give you guys an update on this. We've talked about this a lot here on the show this week. Talked about it on Billy Goat Tells on their Sunday session. I jumped in there for a bit, and that was our rejection point. Now, we came down, and I was hoping that we would see maybe a liquidity sweep here off of this wick, a little swing fail pattern, and then up, and then into the golden pocket. We've completely have lost the golden pocket now. Matter of fact, we had a fake out here, and then back down we go. Now we are into the platinum pocket, 104,232. The levels that I'm watching on this, and I'll show you the higher levels that we're watching for, but those are going to be the key areas. It's going to be around $100,000, guys, and it does look like we are going to get a continuation here. We can see the oscillator ribbon is giving us a little, like the slides. You guys remember those slides? You used to go and get the potato sack bag and climb all the way up the stairs, and then you'd slide down, and every time you hit one of these bumps, it was like airborne, and you just like broke your tailbone every time. Yeah, that's what we're doing there on the oscillator ribbon. True 7 is fired off, and we do have a power bar on the 4-hour that's screaming the bottom needs to stop coming in. But guys, again, it does look like we are going to have another continuation here, at least on the 4-hour timeline. That's what I'm watching there. We are seeing also some movement to the downside on gold. Gold getting a little bit of a pullback today. So is silver. So we'll talk about all those reasons that why when we look at the macro, and we'll break all that down for you. So, but yeah, that's what I'm watching. So why don't we slide? That's a great song there, Alexander G. Great song. She's always posting music stuff. Every time OC says high or low, I think of bring me a higher low. I can't help it. It's just in my head, music. I have a lot of music set up stuff. I got like my stereo sound speakers over here. I sit here and just listen to music all the time. Music soothes the soul, that's for sure. All right, let's go jump into the news, and we'll talk about that. Wix Wi-Fi 89 joining the chat. 2Dub, what's up there, lady? How you doing? All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Now we got news. All right, let's take a look at the Into the Cryptoverse metrics today, guys. We're currently sitting at 3.58 trillion on the crypto market cap. The trend on this is at 4.516, continuing to the upside. We're currently almost 21% undervalued on the crypto market cap, guys. That's a horrible thing to see. And I want to show you, like when we go back here, we had. I want to bring this up. I just want to show you guys. I want to show you. When we lost these areas previously and went below them, each cycle, like let's bring this in here. We'll bring this in. We'll talk about this. We come up, when we touch that band, we would get a rejection down, and that would just continue to be a sell-off time underneath market cap, even though it still went up, right? But then once we broke above, we would just crush it. These were our cycle runs. The problem that I'm having is that this cycle, here's our top back here in 2021, okay? We pull this cycle in, we really haven't had that parabolic tear above our median, our fair value for the market cap this entire cycle. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we've gotten a dilution of just crap coins into the space. I mean, Pump Fund at one point had like 5 million meme coins just on Pump.fund. So I really think that that's why we're seeing that, and that we're spending this entire cycle while yes, we are making higher levels, higher price ranges in upward motion. We haven't been able to get above that median. We touched it back here in August of 2025, and we've come close several times. When we get within that 5% range, it's been absolutely devastating on price what happens right afterwards. And we are starting to pull back down. Keep in mind, this thing can go well under. So like here back in October 2015, for example, we were at one of the furthest points away. There we go. That's going to be September 23rd, 2015. Our fair value was at 8.52 billion, and our lower band was sitting there. Our total market cap was at 3.96. So fair value 8.5 down to 3.96. That's over 50% away from that band. So keep that in mind. We could see more downside move on that. I just wanted to bring that in and talk about it a little bit. Also, let's go talk about the wristbands, because Bitcoin giving us some juicy DCA levels, guys. We're at 47.8% wristband. That makes Bitcoin a 3x DCA. And we have, of course, I haven't been doing any of the alts. I told everybody that. I played a little bit of Ethereum, took my profits on that, swapped it over into Bitcoin. I'm only DCAing on Bitcoin until I see a change in structure that tells me, okay, alts aren't going to, exorbitantly bleed off versus Bitcoin. Then I'm staying with just Bitcoin DCA, and I'll maintain that until further notice. So looking at Bitcoin dominance here, guys, Bitcoin dominance with stable coins is sitting at 58.8%. Take away the stable coins, Bitcoin coming back up to 64% Bitcoin dominance. So that's a pretty strong dominance there, in my opinion. Looking at the altcoin season index, altcoin season canceled. 51.1% right now is the level, dropping further away from the 75%. We are not anywhere close to an alt season yet. So Melissa, what's up? She said, hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful Melissa. Welcome. In the past 24 hours, billions with the B, 291,579 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $1.21 billion. Hopium bulls are still getting wrecked and getting humbled by bears over and over and over. It's been over $500,000 damn near every day, guys. And now we're seeing this $1.2 billion liquidated. As long as largest single liquidation happened on Hyperliquid as an ETH trade for $20.42 million. Let's go jump over, take a look at X marks the spot, what we're seeing over there. Do we have an upgraded fear and greed? I think we might. Yes, we did 15 minutes ago. Look at that. Bam. Let's go back and refresh so I can get that new one in there. There we go. Let's get rid of you. You're old, sir. You're old. All right. We're sitting at 22 right now. Extreme fear on Bitcoin's fear and greed index. We don't spend much time in extreme fear. So I will say that. And I'll talk about that in regards to the chart here in a little bit. So make sure you're staying tuned here. Looking at Ethereum fear and greed right now, sitting at 31. It's in fear. Not seeing extreme fear on Ethereum yet. Uh, love this picture. I wanted to show this to you guys. Rare footage of me trying to buy the bottom. Yep. Way off, bro. This is why we DCA right here. That's the story. Breaking. This is what happened this morning. So S&P futures erases losses as President Trump says high tariffs on China will not remain. Futures are now up 75% overnight. But of course, he did came out and said, we're going to talk about it in 2 weeks. I want to show you this. In a little bit, actually. I want to show you that in a little bit. It's a pretty funny video, but we're going to bring OC up. I want to see his response. Let's take a look here at what we're seeing on the TradFi side. Give it a refresh. Dow Jones up 0.5%. S&P's up 0.39, almost 0.4%. NASDAQ up over 4.4%. And the Russell 2K down 0.4. VIX volatility index starting to settle down a little bit. That chop slowing down, but still it's sitting at 23 and not a good sign. Bonds. Billy, did you see this morning until like the last 30 minutes, this was sitting at 3.99. We were sitting below 4% for the first time for a while on the 10-year treasury yield. And if you guys don't know, this 10-year yield, this is where you get the baseline for your home loans, car loans, all that comes from this. Has nothing to do with the Fed Reserve, just so you know. Let's look at gold. Gold doing a 1.37% pullback, $4,248 on that. I want to call Eric Wallen out here. Eric Wallen last night said, why aren't you just long in PAX G? And so I looked on Blowfin. There's no PAX G, but there's XAU USDT. So I longed a little bit on it, and I'm down. I'm down, Eric Wallen. Let me see. Let me get my check here. Azimuth check. Shoot me an azimuth here. I'm down 8.7% on my gold long. It's the last time I listened to Eric Wallen. No, I'm just joking. But I am down on it. But I baby stepped into it. I had a feeling we were going to come back, and I'll show you why on the chart. And that in a minute too. But yeah, I am down a little bit on some gold long there. It's okay. Silver is sitting back down to $50.62, down about 5%. It's getting a little bit of a pullback. If you guys are looking at your opportunity knocking, if you hear that sound, that might be some of these precious metals doing their pullback today. Copper's down 1.15. Man, look at platinum and palladium, OC, down almost 7% on platinum. Palladium's down 8.15%. Let's go jump over to the crypto bubbles, talk about that, because we are seeing the hourly here. Give us some hopium. Coming in, giving us at least a zero change, right? It's not red. Bitcoin down 4.5% on the daily, sitting at 105,329. Ethereum is down 5.4%. Let's look for big movers. BNB down 9.3, 7.4% downside on Solana, 6.1% on XRP, 7.2 on Doge. Cardano down to 61 cents, is down 7.6%. Ouch. Ouch. Big ouch. What else we got here? ENA, USD, stablecoin, get out of here. Chainlink down 9.2%, sitting at 1645. Stellar Lumens is down 7.3. Hyperliquid's down 7.9. Bitcoin Cash down 11.3%. OC. Legacy token taking a hit there. Sui's down 10.2. Avalanche is down 9.7. HBAR is down 10.6, and Litecoin rounding out to top 20, holding this position there, down 6.8%. So overall, pretty harsh day, even though we're getting a little bounce on the hourly. How about the macroeconomic data? Guys, I'm not getting none. None. You get none. We're living in a sound chamber with earmuffs on, and we can't hear anything. There's nothing. So look at here. We got Fed Muslim talking today, but that's about it. We are going to be getting some federal data, guys, on the 23rd, 24th, 23rd. And this is going to be for the 24th. So we should start getting this stuff of core inflation and all that. But you see all this jobless stuff, all this jobs data? We're supposed to be getting all this the week before the FOMC. So be prepared. A lot of data coming out all at once, and people are going to need to aggregate it. Make sure you're tuned in right here, because we will have all of that information for you. So banks go out and borrow blocks on money, like 25 million to 25 billion. They lock in their rate and loan it out. Deals are being cut behind the scenes right now. A frenzy of sorts is about to occur. Yeah, I definitely think there is something. We're actually going to talk a little bit about the bank thing, and then we're also going to talk about some stuff on the I am. I'm dying on the inside without my econ data. We're also going to talk about some gold revaluation stuff. When will the government shutdown end? It's now 33% chance that it takes place after November 16th. I still think it happens before that, but I also thought 10-10. So, what do I know? 100% chance of a rate cut. I know that's right now. That's what we have coming in on the FedWatch tool. We're even getting a 1% chance that we get a 50 basis point cut. So there you go. U.S. budget. I'm going to pull OC up here. OC, let's talk about this because I was a little shocked by this. And the source is CNBC. So it's not like it's, Fox News or CNN or whatever. It's pretty middle of the road, moderate news. They focus a lot on financial, and that's about it. U.S. budget deficit edged lower in 2025 as tariffs, debt payments both saw new records. The U.S. budget deficit edged lower in 2025 as record-setting tariff collections helped offset what also were unprecedented numbers for payments on the spiraling national debt. The red ink would have been worse had it not been for a massive surge in customs duties and a September surplus of $198 billion that also set a record for the month. The U.S. budget deficit edged lower. The record-setting tariff collections to help offset what it could have been. In a year marked with a bruising trade war and high financial costs, the federal government managed to escape with $1.78 trillion shortfall, some $41 billion or 2.2% less than fiscal year 2024. We're starting to see some bonuses. We're starting to see some payout of tariffs helping, just not enough, in my opinion. President Donald Trump's tariffs were a major contributor to tariff collections of $202 billion for the year, representing a 142% surge versus 2024. September saw $30 billion in tariff payments, up 295% from the same period a year ago. So maybe we're getting something out of there. And then is gold's rise an urgent warning sign for Bitcoin and the global economy? Gold hit record highs in 2025. We know that. It's taken center stage. Spot prices recently climbed over $4,300 an ounce for the first time. The rally remains relentless. Since early 2024, gold has nearly doubled in value, leaving stocks, bonds, and even cryptocurrency struggling to keep up. But why? Why is gold surging so much? That is a good question. It's called the debasement trade, if you guys don't know. Gold has always been simple. It holds value, and unlike industrial commodities, it doesn't depend on factories or technology. It's reliable, easy to trade. I wouldn't say it's easy to trade. It's easy-ish. And proven way to protect wealth. Historically, gold has spiked during crisis, $1,000 in 2008, $2,000 in 2020, $3,000 after Trump's tariff announcement. Investors are worried about government debt, fiscal stability, and the independence of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Are people losing faith in the dollar? The U.S. dollars, that's the debasement trade. That's what it's weakening, guys. We talked about that. And that's why we're seeing things go so expensive. Bitcoin going so expensive. Stocks going so expensive. Bread, milk, eggs going so expensive. It's not because they're getting more expensive. It's because the amount of dollars it takes to buy them is going down. That is the debasement trade. So yeah, gold is telling us some signs here. Still a long road for Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin has struggled to match gold's momentum. Gold's market cap has now hit $30 trillion. Bitcoin would need a 1,500% rally to reach the same level. I'm going to come over here and talk about this. Actually, let's pull this up first. Come back here. Come back, OC. And I want to talk about a little bit of what I'm thinking about here for what's going on with Bitcoin and gold. Because I think there's a little bit of manipulation on the Bitcoin price, and I'm not going to say that it's the composite man or anything like that, but I do think there's some suppression on price going on with Bitcoin right now. But I want to talk about this. This is from the Fed. This is federalreserve.gov, okay? And they're talking in here, and I talked about this before on here, but they're talking about using going and revaluation of gold, okay? And it's been listed as one of their things that they're considering. Stylized examples of revaluation transfers on the central bank's balance sheets, and gold revaluation account is one of those things. Reserves valued at their fair value used by the government. So let's come over here and talk about this because we have the gold revaluation set up right now. And I think they're trying to get gold really pumped hard. They don't really care about the dollar. They just need the dollar to stay on life support. They don't need it to be strong and breathing and running marathons. And I think what we're going to actually see is that gold continues to pump. They get it up there to some unknown value, right? Whether it's right now or whether it continues on. And then they take that and do the revaluation from $42.22 an ounce, which is the current price on our books in the treasury for gold, $42.22. They say, here's the true value now, $4,300, $5,000, whatever it may be. And they get that money pumped in by the banks because they give them back their 4222 IOU. They take that from them and they give them one for whatever the current price is on fair value on gold at the time, 4,300, 5,000, 10,000, whatever arbitrary number you want to tag to it. The banks give all that money. That boosts the entirety of the treasury for the United States government. At that point, they can go, we now have this money to create stable coins under the Clarity Act, under the Genius Bill. Okay. And so now they can go, look, we have all this money. Here's where it all came from. All of this gold that we just revalued at X amount of dollars per ounce. We have created a faster, more efficient US dollar, whether it be Circle, whether it be whatever something they create, not a CBDC, as the Genius Bill says, different thing. We'll see. And now they can start to erode away that $37 trillion. China's talked about this. I really do think there is a play that's in there. You getting rid of that debt using stable coins backed by the treasury of, it's not like they're just going to create it. They're going to have all this increased revaluation of, they have like 276 million ounces of gold, guys. And then that will, but it won't be a debt-based dollar system at that point. It'll be a gold-based dollar system again, BC, because they revalued all the gold. At that point, what they're going to use for the reserves while they're doing all that, I think is going to be something along the lines of Bitcoin. I think that's where Bitcoin starts to get its next pump. And I think it's a multi-stage steps. And I think that process, I should say. And then I also think that it takes time, but I think that gold is pumping to get a valuation. They don't care that the dollar's on life support. I'm not patting the dollars back. It's behind me. They don't care that it's on life support over there. They want gold to pump. They're going to keep everything going until that can go into treasury reserves. Then treasury reserves can start to create stable dollars, stable coins, and then they can then let Bitcoin rally on its thing. And then I think that's how it's going to roll out. I think there's a process there, man. And I keep going back to this gold revaluation. And it's absolutely a thing that the Federal Reserve is talking about. And when you go from $42.22 an ounce on our treasury books times 276 million, and you replace that 42.22 with $5,000 times 276 million, it really does put this idea in your head that we do have a process for getting rid of debt and switching over to a digital dollar. So the pieces are all there, man. The Genius Bill, the Clarity Act, the revaluation of gold. I might need your tinfoil hat for this, OC, but it's there, man. I'm seeing some benchmarks that if you put it all together, you can kind of see a roadmap. What do you think on this, OC? And I appreciate you, Crypto Billy. It's a shattered brain. It's definitely jacked the F up. But yeah, I try to get some data in there every now and then. It makes sense. I hope that all made sense. OC, your thoughts on it?
Well, let me say that maybe I was just rumbling too much yesterday. This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. And you say that China talked about this as well as Russia, right? So this is
Yes,
what I
they have.
mean. Yeah, they have absolutely. And that's what I see, right? Russia's first approach was exactly or very similar to that. I would say that that is
Hold
a
on,
fantastic, phenomenal.
hold on real fast. Lunar Beach just says, no, the market sets the value of gold. You're right. But how do you make people go buy gold? You let the dollar get crushed. We're the number one place where money flows to, our treasuries, so on and so forth. How do you make people want to go to get gold so that you can get that higher revaluation? You weaken their alternative, which is the dollar. Go ahead, OC.
Or make movies about gold. I love
Or make
gold.
movies about gold.
Right?
There you go.
Let's go. Yeah, but I mean, in all seriousness, that's what I meant yesterday. On I think the U.S. is gonna export step to the USDC or USDT thing, right? So it's not gonna be exactly that, but right now the hegemony of USDT it's out there. But when you push it into a crypto dollar, as you mentioned, the Clarity Act might not be. I mean, it is just important to understand, as you mentioned, that it's not going to be directly to
I
USDT
love
or anything like that. Let's
gold.
go. But I mean, I think you just created a perfect exit plan. In fact, Michael Saylor has talked about this, but in a different way, right? I mean, in a more straightforward way. He said, "Hey, let our competition buy gold." And I mean, if we take a look at the charts of gold, and let me also bring out something that I brought up yesterday in here, using chart, not chart. I'm sorry. Here is using ChatGPT, right? Um, Here is gold buyers, right? And just so you know, I try not to set any bias into what I'm telling ChatGPT, right? Does a deep research, do a deep research on the last information about last countries buying gold in largest gold reserve to the world. So what happens in here if we take a look at what's going on? Who has been buying gold recently? China, 2022, 225 tons, 2023, right? 2024, 2025. Russia, right, dominates 2021. Turkey, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, India, Poland, Singapore. I mean, come on, they're just being keep buying tons and tons and tons of gold, right? And well, what is the largest official gold reserves, right? Well, United States, Germany, Italy, France, and then that's when the union kind of started breaking down, because now we start seeing, let's just say, the red teams start pushing with their gold buys, right? Russia, China, well, Switzerland, because that's where we send everything, right? Japan, India, and Netherlands. Netherlands, not a surprise. So as you can see, well, not only Michael Saylor had talked about it, hey, you know what? Let them buy gold, sell them your gold, and then buy Bitcoin or whatever you get that. So using the US to buy Bitcoin, you're going to be exchanging US for Bitcoin, and then backing that up with Bitcoin. So you just let them buy gold, and then you plumb out, you sell your reserve of gold, flooding the market, right? And then making your not friends or your competition sink hard with the weight of gold itself, right? But as you mentioned right now, I think, how do you get people to buy gold? Well, then you need to make a pill of it, right? Talk about its scarcity, talks about its properties. Why am I talking right now about gold when the initial question was, hey, exporting debt to crypto coins, right? To crypto dollar. And that is because inevitably, right, you get every other country buying the stable coins to get Bitcoin. So what if you get your actual dollars, right, to be part of the stablecoin ecosystem, and then you just get the rest of the countries to buy the debt? I mean, that's what is happening, I would say. And not only, I think you created a fantastic, let's go, a fantastic roadmap to execution, right? But also, I believe that that is in one way unavoidable, unavoidable. So it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. I
That's
mean,
right. Now
how
I have a
many?
tinfoil hat for us, though. I can put on my tinfoil hat.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Fantastic, love it.
I don't know exactly how that roadmap looks, but when you look at all these things that are starting to show up on the horizons, revaluation, the dollar shrinking, the tariffs, the Bitcoin price manipulation scenario. I hate to get down conspiracy rabbit holes, but I do think that there's something in there. I do think that there's something in there that starts to look like something, right? And typically, when you have things that start to line up and uh, match up down the road and connect the dots, it's called we call it oh my gosh, I can't even think of the word. OSINT, open source intelligence. It's where you take things that are unrelated on open source and aggregate them until you get to a point that you got something that's classified, right? And it's what we do in the Intel
So
world. So I look at
it's
these
like
things a
me
lot and
cooking,
it's like what?
like me cooking. I just opened up the fridge. Hey, this looks like edible, edible,
Yeah,
edible,
yeah,
edible. You just
absolutely.
start throwing stuff
And
until
then add a little
something
sprinkle
comes
here,
out.
a little seasoning there, a little sear there. That's right. That's it. That's how you get it, bro. What else do I want to look at here? I just wanted to talk about that. Some interesting stuff there. Let's go over and look at the monthly returns chart real fast, OC, because I said I would bring this up, and then we'll bring up the charts and get into some TA. But guys, currently right now down 7% on the month for October. Um, And normally we're up about 19.6% in October. So we are about over halfway through now. So I just wanted to bring that up. Let's jump over into the chart, though. I want to talk about what's happening here because we're heading back down to the 786 on Bitcoin right now. But let's go jump over and look at this. And this is the level that I keep. This is on the thumbnail this morning. Where does Piper start to go? Okay, that's it. We probably are done, guys. And I've showed you this many times, but it's right here. And I'm going to show if there's anyone in here right now, because I said that I said in the description today, I will show you how to put these on your chart. This is the line in the sand. Why do I say this is the line in the sand for us on the weekly? Shout out to LBC, the 52-week SMA, which, I knew about the 50-week typically does this too, but the 52-week just has this interesting flair to it. Let me show you the difference. 50 week, 50 week, bam. See how we go so much further below it? We don't really get wicks right to it. I like the 52 weeks. So shout out to LBC for showing me the way, guys. It takes a village. It takes a village sometimes to learn things in the world of crypto and TA. But yeah, so looking at the 52 week, all you're going to do is this is called MA ribbon, and I turned all of them off. It's on SMA on the weekly. So you just go up and type in indicators, MA ribbon. It's going to be this moving average ribbon. You put that on. You're going to go into it. You turn everything else off, but one SMA. You put chart on weekly and you type 52. And you can make it whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. You can do that right here. Style. Style. We're going to make it LBC blue. There you go. And so, excuse me. Goodness gracious. Go over here, turn the other one off that I had. And there you go. There's your MA ribbon, guys. And that's how you put that on. So it's a good way to see, and I'll show you how all this plays out in cycles in a second, but that's a good way to put that one on there. And then this up here, the bull market support band. Of course, I do have the daily dynamic reactor from Chart Prime. If you have Chart Prime, you can go into there and you can go into inputs and you're just going to put on daily dynamic reactor. You're going to put dynamic reactor daily. That's it. That's on your Market Oracle Pro Plus. So if you have Chart Prime, you can do that. You can see how well it plays as key support for us to hold. And then the other one that I have on here is going to be the bull market support band. And if you want to put this on, just go into your indicators, type 21 week, 21W. That's it. First one right here, ZK Dev 4.4K. Click that, and that will put that on. Now, let me show you how this all works together in case you guys don't know. You have support in here, right? And I'll put this down a little bit. We'll even put it on like the 3-day or 2-day so you can get a little bit better. I think 3-day goes all the way out. Yeah, we'll go to 3-day. When we have support here, we have continuation of higher, retest higher, right? When we lose it, when we lose this bull market support band, It's the 52 week that we come into play on. Okay. And so you want both of these on because this is our first line of defense, our last line of defense. And I'm going to show you why it's the last line of defense, because if we go back and look at previous cycles, look here, bull market support band. It's our run up all the way. We lose it. Where do we go to? 50 week. We go back up, get a bounce on the bull market support band. That's another high, higher highs, higher highs. We break below, find the 52 week back here. This is 2021's top. Pay attention. Pay attention, class. This might be on the test. We hold it as support for a whole month, but we cannot break the bull market support band. We go below. What do? We come back and retest it. OC retest. That is our crypto winner. Period. That's how it works. Let's go back and look again. Previous cycle before that. We come in. We lose the support band. We don't quite touch the 52 week there, but we get rejected. We come down here. We come back up. We get rejected. We come below. What do? OC retest. It's now our resistance. That bull market support band has now become a bear market resistance band, and that sends us into our cycle low that we had back then. Why I'm watching this right now is exactly those reasons, and that's how you put them all on your chart. So now if you guys come back and watch this, you can put them all on your chart. You can watch that we're losing the support band. So what are we watching for? A loss of this level at $100,400. If we get several weeks below this and we come up and we either come back in and reject off of the support bands, that's bearish. Or if we don't even make it that far and we come back and we reject off of this 52 week SMA, that's bearish. And that's what sends us into the crypto winter. These are the levels that I'm watching right now. The most important level in my mind right now that you guys need to be watching on Bitcoin, $100,400. So if we make a higher low, what price would that be? Anything above the last low, Eric Wallen. So just the way it is, man. If I had to look here and see if we make a higher low, if you're talking about on what we're seeing on the chart right now, our higher low would have to be above 110.7. 110.7. If we're going to make a higher high, it's got to be above 115, 116. Now, the one thing that I would watch on the 4 hour is that this is vitally important. You guys can see, we talked about this, that we rejected on the quantum reactor, right? The dynamic reactor went red back here when we started passing through it. But you see that the quantum reactor has not yet turned red. That in my mind is probably one of the only bullish things that I really see on the chart right now, is that the quantum reactor has not come and turned red, meaning, hey, we're heading down. You go back and look in past, and I'll show you here. There you go. Quantum reactor turned red here. And that said, hey, you're probably heading down more. And what do? We went down more, right? And typically, if it's just gray, it doesn't really mean anything good or bad. Like here, look, we broke below it. It stayed gray. It was resistance for a while, but we ultimately came back to get into it. Here, it turned gray. Didn't mean anything until here. And that turned red. And what we get? A bigger dump. So as of right now, if you want a little bit of hopium, there's your hopium, guys. The 4 hour quantum reactor, still grayed out. So I just wanted to show that. That's what I'm watching there. Let's go look at gold and let's go look at silver OC, and then let's take a look at a couple of alts. But that's what you guys need to know about Bitcoin right now. Not completely screwed, but we are seeing some weakness on the charts and heading towards the most critical level, in my opinion, $100,400. OC, what do you got for us, man? You're muted.
Thank you for that. So take a look at gold here. It seems like it doesn't want to stop, right? Well, we have talked about this in the 4 hours. Remember, in fact, let me see if I can bring up previous analysis. Maybe do I have them here? I should. There it is. Perfect. We were talking about this rejection, right? Yesterday we told you, hey, do you want to buy gold? This is not the time, right? we need to see or seek for that rejection. Also, we talked about the predictive ranges, basically coming in here, not hitting neither the gold and neither the gray, and having that rejection, right? Back to where? To where we have the previous liquidity. Not only that, we also have new predictive ranges on the golden area right here. So coming back down to the golden zone, hitting once again the blue line in here that is overlapped. So it's looking pretty good, to be honest, right? So getting ready for a possible entry might be it if you're looking to jump into gold. I know that we talked about, well, maybe dumping or pumping gold. Well, I think right now we are seeing the rest of the world, right? Let's just bring I just closed it, but let's bring up or let's remember what ChatGPT mentioned, right? Who are buying gold and who has the biggest reserve for gold. So far narrative is telling us that gold, it's being bought, it's being wanted. So I think it's still right now a good investment, right? I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on gold when I say it's still a good investment. I mentioned, hey, you're not buying. I believe that you're not buying here, right? I mean, I think that you might be buying still somewhere around on the way down, somewhere around here, which is fine. You buy on retracements, right? You buy on retracement for then further movements. You don't buy tops for, well, get wrecked. All right. So once again, I believe that we are on a retracement for a further move to the upside, or at least a bigger range. Keep your eyes peeled, because right here it was your very first entry. We talked about that yesterday. We hit that support, and well, then right now we need to see some flag outs. The next area or next opportunity to jump back in will be on the flip of the ribbon. Look at that, we have overall the same zone of a flip of the ribbon for a majority of cases, right? I mean, yes, we have others flip of the ribbon happening a little bit below, a little bit above, but you'll see that overall the concentration of that flip of the ribbon happens somewhere around this area. In fact, maybe I'll actually try to push it a little bit lower. Let me see if I can move that. And there it is, right? So it happens right there. So very close to that area, right at that area, right at that area, again. And well, I believe that we might still have that again. So far, our leading indicator, the True 7, is not really showing us red, although we have a little bit of a volume cooldown, volume matrix. Remember, it's not that big of the deal right now. Let's just bring this up, and you'll see that we have that little retracement, right? Cool off, and then coming back up. Little retracement, there you go. Cool off, flip on the ribbon, and back up. That's the same pattern that we're looking at for gold at this moment. Let's go and take a look at a couple of other icons. We have COAI. This was suggested for me yesterday. It was a pretty good trade coming back down. We already have hit some areas of support. We're bouncing off it, and I'm telling you, look at that. It just happened at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Like they don't want you to buy. Come on. The next area that I'm looking for is just creating this goose head and then having that curl back up, right? So goose head means little retracement. We already have it for further continuation and then bigger retracement. How big of a further continuation tends to be? Well, then there we go. We're basically exact on that trend line so far. We're still having decreasing lows. So we could be expecting something around the 1829. Let's actually add an alert right there, right? And of course, create or duplicate that trend line right here. So we have a point of reference as soon as we get in there. Another thing that I have, it is TAO. TAO, I did commit for a little long today in the morning. That is because we have more of that goose head development. Yes, the money flow is not looking that great. I mean, we're still overall in the red. But our volume matrix is counteracting that, right? So let's go check out what had happened as soon or as long as we had that red money flow, right? Despite we have been consistently going downwards. And let me just get rid of this so we can have a cleaner picture of what's going on. Well, we do still have our bounces to the dynamic reactor. So consistently balanced, right? And then, well, if I'm almost basically at the top, that is because I have the goose head. I'm trusting to have maybe another push to the dynamic reactor and then create a much stable, much better trend line that is going to go from here to the next high like this, right? Basically giving us an area where to bounce back down, right? Create a higher low and then upcoming. So just so you guys know, this is a pretty dangerous trade. Let's mark it really quickly. Here it is. Oh, not that one. It needs to be this one right here. All right, it's danger. And by the way, I got it fixed. Will Robinson. There we go. And something that I want to go over is if you follow the Bitcoin trade yesterday in the chart prime segment, remember that was another danger trade. We were barely in the green. We took some profits and then continuation to the downside. Expect the same thing here. All right. Expect the same thing here. Let's move our stop. Right now is 1-to-1 because I did not moved it. My stop loss is going to be somewhere right here below this week at 352-ish. Oh, there it is. All right. So we don't want to risk it that much. Be careful with this trade. As soon as your profits, take some of your profits, trade it, move your stop to entry. You know the drill, right? Don't trust the markets at this point. Not just that. Not just now. Uni having that fall off the cliff thing. We were talking about here, and this is the 4 hour. We need to look at the 30 minutes. We were talking about losing the trend line. Perfect. We have lost the trend line. We have a lower high, and then we have that sweep of the lows. Let me clear this up. There it is. And let's start bringing up a couple of, there we go, support and resistances. We hit a uni here. It is crossing the 615, 16. Where is it? Here it is, crossing this area, getting prepared for this area right here. Look at that. Once again, 2 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Come on. Who's awake trading that? And the next thing that we're going to be looking for, it is the next rejection to create a
Asia.
higher low. What
Asia's
is it?
awake trading that.
Well, yes, man, Asia is dumping the market. And hopefully we can make it above the zero line and then get that run up to the upside. So far, once again, if you're gonna be taking that trade, be extremely careful because your stop loss it's already a little bit too thicky here, too big for the actual returns that we're looking on 119. It's not that great of a risk reward, but be aware of this. All right. So I will be trying to get something a little bit better and then aiming for that dynamic reactor. At this moment, guys, remember we're taking whatever we're getting, even if it's a little bitty, itty tiny bit bounce like this. Remember, if we see opportunity, we take it and then we plan for whatever is up next, right? If we get the bounce, we're also going to be preparing for the upcoming short. And smart money areas of entry at TAO 624. And finally, useless. Come on. Useless. It's been following. Look at it. We were talking about the first possible area of bounce. Did not stop in there. Perfect. And then we have our next area of support right here. Trying to predict where the dynamic reactor was going to be. We have the useless ring at 0.3, basically right here at this area, and we are bouncing off the dynamic reactor. We already have a flip of the ribbon, so we could be jumping here with a little bit less of danger, but a huge body here. This is a meme coin, so how much of a risk you are cutting out buying that support? A lot, but still a lot of risk entry right here on useless. So that's what I got so far. Maybe let me pass it over to you, and I'll also get prepared with Ethereum. I want to take a look at F Ethereum.
Ethereum, that's right. I'm looking at a couple of things here on X, just some updates that came through, and then I'll hand it back over to you to knock out some Ethereum, and then we're going to head over to Crypto Blood. Shout out to Crypto Blood in the chat. I see him there. Red Nugent in the house. If you guys don't know where Red Nugent comes from, that comes from Ted Nugent, the Red Rocker. Now you know. Now you know. So a little insight there on some of the music background history on old crypto blood. I see you, bro. I see you rocking out. That most people don't know what that is, but I do. I do. All right, OC, let's take a look here. Kabisi letter breaking. Oil prices have officially fallen below $57 a barrel. Holy cannoli. For the first time since May 5th, now down 25% since President Trump's inauguration. President Trump really wants gas prices low, below $2. No, no, sir. That comes from lack of demand in the economic sector. It's also a very horrible indicator for the market, for the economy, if you don't know. Also, from X marks the spot today, sellers are getting exhausted. The sellers. I want to explain something to you guys. A lot of people don't think about this. You hear this all the time. Sellers are getting exhausted. Do you know how hard it is to be a seller? You hit sell and you take profits on all your gains. You're sitting on protecting capital gains. It's super easy. I've done it twice three times actually this entire cycle, and it started DCAing again as we went down until it came back into profits. Right? It's not that hard to be a seller. Do you know what gets exhausted? Buyers. Why? Because they have to keep working and keep grinding to get more money to put into the market. How do you do that? You got to have a job. And so that brings us to this one here. Poly market traders. Mom, how's the job search going? Trading. Will Jesus Christ return in 2025 on Poly market? That's what the reality is, guys. Make money any way you can so that you can beat this guy because he's not getting tired yet, and he can sell a whole lot longer and sit on his profits than what you can find money to put into the market. So it's very hard to make a market go up, very easy to make it go down. Be very careful. OC, let's head over to take a look at ETH, and then we'll head over to rock out with some crypto blood. Red Nugent over there on his channel. He's getting ready to start and go live. What do you got for us, OC?
Let's go. So first we were looking at possibilities in here. The first area of bouncing that we were expecting was in here, and then a possible continuation for a dead cat bounce. Looked like that was a flop. It actually went the other way around. That is fine. I mean, we still always look for those support areas, right? Remember, we did not give any entries at that area, at that zone. Still, we have a pretty hefty trend line in here playing out. It might be seen because we're already pegging out of that trend line that we could be having maybe a V-shaped recovery here. But let me bring the bummer stuff in here because, yeah, I mean, money flow has been going up. We might have that flip with the ribbon, but look at this. Oh, where was it? Come on. Right there. Look at those high order blocks and look at the disparity. Look at that 92, 91 versus 9 and 8. Come on. That is very, very bad, right? So this is telling me that, well, people are starting to lose some trust Ethereum, right? I mean, of course, how could you trust anything like Ethereum? But still, I think it's a strong coin. I think we might see some dilution of these high order blocks as we start seeing some lower areas to entry. I mean, there is a counterpart where we have our VRVP, and we start seeing some big money. I mean, some big smart money entries right here, somewhere around 3,500, 3,400, and also a hey, stop the dump right here areas at 3,400 and 3,542 ish. So we're gonna be expecting a little bit more downwards movement, right? Maybe going and hit the come on, I always lose it. Coming and hit the order blocks up in here, getting also rejection of the golden line right there, and then maybe going to visit some blue lines right here as we might be prolonging all the way down. So once again, maybe creating that double bottom before we start seeing some support and some dilution on these areas. But still, I think that we're not doing horribly. I think we're still on the bull market so far, despite things are not looking that great. Oh, holy Jesus.
There you go. There you go. How easy is it to be a seller? 432,598 sold just got transferred from an unknown wallet to Coinbase, and another 53 million, almost 53.4 million XRP just got transferred over to Coinbase. Just happened. Just happened. Well, alerts, guys. So sellers are not exhausted. They are marathon runners, and man, are they looking great. They're just hydrated, running the not over sweating, no heat exhaust. They're good. They're good. Sellers can outlast you guys. They will outlast your wallet. It's sad. It's sad. Holy balls, Alexander G said. All right, guys, that's it. OC, I know you got to run because you got a class that's starting right now over at Chart Prime.
Yes.
So I appreciate you, bro. Go over there and join Alex O for that live class. If you guys have Chart Prime indicators, there's a live class starting right now over at Chart Prime Discord with Alex O and OC. I appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend, OC.
Thank you. See you then on Monday.
All right, bro. All right, guys, we're heading over to Crypto Blood right now. So when you guys get over there and drop the graduation caps, let them know that we are in the house. The alumni is kicking in the door. Oh, yeah, COAI style. We're busting in. We will be back here Monday morning. Hopefully, BC Port Corp goes live. We'll see. Good morning, crypto. And then we'll be on at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you the news, charts, markets, headlines, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you over at Crypto Blood later.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one.
You have a flag.
Morning market report out.
Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?